Tonight on News 5 Live, a first-hand view of the fire devastation in the south. Prime Minister John Bersenio joins a flyover of affected areas in Toledo District. A police officer is sentenced to 2 years for the sexual assault of a minor. And in tonight's episode of Feliz on Real, we look at brain drain and its impact on the healthcare sector. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a Lone Ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
13,835,700 eggs are eaten by tourists each year, fueling our thriving economy. Tourism means business.
Motorcycles are much smaller than vehicles, which makes it difficult to judge how fast they are going and difficult to see on the road. Motorists often miss oncoming motorcycles and bikes, which can have deadly consequences for riders. Avoid distractions while driving. Stay focused on the road. When making a turn, look once for vehicles and pedestrians, and look twice for motorcycles and bikes. Again, it is look once, look twice, think bike. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
What if I told you that your singing talent can earn you $10,000? And what if I told you that you can stop singing in the shower and sing live on one of the biggest stages in Belize?
Let's go! I'm gonna love you forever.
Still not sold? Well, what if I told you with all that's offered, you can attract fans and supporters from all over the country? So, are you ready to be part of the most exciting singing competition in Belize? It's time for KTV The Remix Season 6. Auditions will take place on Saturday, June 1st and Sunday, June 2nd. So mark your calendars and come show us how good you are. This is your chance to make it big and win big. KTV The Remix Season 6. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, May 23rd. I am Sabrina Daly. Wildfires have destroyed more than 600 acres of farmland in Toledo District over the past 3 weeks. An initial damage assessment conducted by the National Emergency Management Organization estimates over $3 million in losses. More than 200 families have been affected, the equivalent of just over 1,000 residents. They described these events as the worst they have seen in their lifetime. Compounding the challenges brought on by wildfires is an extensive period of drought and little to no access to water in some villages. News 5's Paul Lopez traveled to Toledo today. He filed the following report.
Over 600 acres of farmland, in addition to a vast expanse of forest, have been destroyed by wildfire in Toledo District.
That's where we get our food, and that's how we call it our home, because we get our lumber there, we stuff for our house.
This is Novella Chiak, a resident of Blue Creek Village in Toledo District. For the past 2 weeks, wildfires have been burning through his community.
Last week, Friday, the fire reached close to neighbors' this side, and then couldn't find no help.
Is this the worst you've ever seen it?
This is the worst one. Yeah.
Wildfires are not uncommon in these parts at this time of the year. But increased temperatures, coupled with the absence of rainfall for more than a month, have led to a wildfire crisis in Toledo. We came across a bushfire that was growing quickly on a hillside in Blue Creek. Most of the hilly terrain in this community is covered with lush rainforest. At the foot of this hill, one family was on high alert as the fire threatened to destroy their life's work.
This has been a little area that my dad has invested in. You can see a lot of cacao trees, coconut trees. So what I went and did earlier was basically try to make a little path, as close as I could to it. So in case if it reaches down, then we have our little spray pump there. Assuming that it wouldn't get as big as how it is in other areas like around that side, right?
Nelson and his family have already lost 4 acres of corn and 2 acres of pepitas to this year's wildfires. Government trucks deliver water to communities in the area almost on a daily basis for general use due to limited water access caused by the drought. Creeks have dried up. River levels are at an all-time low. With limited access, villagers who come together to fight fires are required to travel long distances to fetch and carry water in buckets and gallon bottles.
It's a little hard because, it's dry, everything is dry. Basically trying to save as much as we can do, we could try to solve it. This is the daily livelihood of us here in the village, so we rely on these stuff. And especially that little thatch home, it might look like it's small and thing, but that is somebody's home. So that is where somebody's actually living, and that mean a lot to them, no?
West of Blue Creek lies Santa Cruz Village. Both communities are separated by the flaming hills. Francisco and his family live in the village on top of a hill that provides a panoramic view of the smoke-filled horizon and scorched earth. Overwhelmed by the smoke in the air, Francisco has had to relocate his wife and children several times over the past few weeks. His experience has been similar to that of his neighbors.
The NCM farm pumps that we use to do chemical works in the farm, and that is basically what we have on the 5 gallons to go for water to wherever we could find water source. Then we don't have any specific, like the water system is down for the moment. Well, not down in saying that it's not working, it's just that we're out of water in the ground, so we don't have that much availability of water anywhere around close.
It has been established that most of the communities in Toledo live off the land. And for decades, farmers have been practicing slash and burn, a method used to clear forested land for farming. Ironically, this traditional method practiced by villagers is believed to be one of the root causes of the fires that are leveling farms in the village. There is now a growing call for safer agricultural practices and stricter penalties for lawbreakers.
To me, that is something that could be dealt with care. The thing is, with slash and burn, that is, we as the farmers, we depend on those, and that is our main source of food. Without those, if we don't do that, then we can't plant crop coming this year. I think the only solution to that is that whenever there is a slash and burn, it's not just one person to be out there to do the slash and burn. Like if we're going to deal with one farm, we just need to make sure we have enough water around and we have enough man to out the fire if it's starting to go out off the limit. And also before that, we need to make sure that we do the fire pass around it and make sure that it is wide enough not to pass the fire to the other side.
I would hope that our leaders would come together, just like how they did for the COVID-19 regulations, to implement it and to be strict about it. Because if we're destroying this environment. What do we have for the future?
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The National Emergency Management Organization activated its operations last Thursday in Toledo District. Since then, NEMO has been partnering with Belize Defense Force soldiers to deploy aid and assist residents in putting out fires. According to NEMO officials, teams are being deployed to various communities on a regular basis. By their account, firefighting efforts run past midnight most days. NEMO's national coordinator, Daniel Mendez, and Oscar Requena, the area representative for Toledo West, held a press conference this morning in Machaca to provide an update on the efforts. There, Requena announced that Prime Minister John Briceño would be joining them on a flyover of the affected areas this afternoon.
Right now is really to get on the ground, to see firsthand what is happening, to get a thorough assessment and evaluation, and really to quantify, the damage, so as to be able to put together in place a plan to address the needs both short-term and long-term. Today, the Prime Minister is, joining myself, Minister Perez, along with Captain Mendez and other, fire experts and NEMO personnel, to, get a first-hand view of what the situation looks like, because as you're aware, the Prime Minister was out of the country. I believe he came in yesterday. So certainly we're all working together, all the government agencies and even our, partners, and stakeholders. We're working together so that, we can, respond adequately, to the situation on the ground. Fire continues to be a major problem every year here in the Toledo District. I think this year has been the worst year that we have seen. And certainly moving forward, we need to find a way to put in place a very viable plan, a community-based plan together with the government agencies and our stakeholders to ensure that as much as possible, this kind of reoccurrence is mitigated as much as possible.
NEMO representatives and area representative Oscar Requena were also asked about growing concerns over the use of slash and burn practices by farmers. One reporter questioned what will be done by authorities to penalize farmers who act with a degree of negligence. NEMO says its priority is to first put out fires and provide aid for those affected. Requena says it is time for farmers to revisit the issue of burning.
Not to throw fingers at anybody, but the reality in Toledo is that some of these fires are caused by humans, negligence. Is the organization doing anything to find out who are these individuals and what will be done to avoid this to happen next year again, because it's happening every year?
At this stage, our priority is trying to contain and suppress the fire and look at the impact to farmers. If an agency want to pick that up later on, they might. I don't know if that is something that would be, it might be very difficult to pinpoint and prove, but our focus is on suppressing the fire and getting aid to the affected population as quickly as possible after the assessments are done.
I am aware that there have been instances, as I said, where it's actually people going in and lighting it. what has to be done, and I agree with Mr. Burma, at this point, the focus is really on, trying to contain the fires, trying to be as supportive as possible to the community out there. But we cannot overlook that side of the equation, in that as community members, we have to be more responsible in how we deal with fires. There are clear regulations as to, what farmers must do when they go and light a fire. They have to create a fire pass. They have to ensure that they inform the Ministry of Agriculture. They have to pick a certain time to light their fire. They have to make sure that they have enough help, to be able to contain the fire in the event that the fire escapes. So, but really what has happened is that, to be honest, we have not seen enforcement of the regulations. I think the time has come really and truly for us as farmers. I'm a farmer myself, and I don't burn. For years, I have over 15 years I've not been burning. And I really think the time has come for us as farmers to revisit the whole issue of burning.
And finally, from Toledo, NEMO and the Toledo West Area Representative are already planning to prevent such an occurrence during the dry season in 2025. One idea being discussed is the establishment of fully trained community disaster response teams in every village. For now, the only real answer to the fires blazing across the district is rain.
What we also need to do from the NEMO perspective is to really and continue to expand the concept of community disaster response teams and to really ensure that each community has a team that is able and has the equipment to be able to manage these incidents and be able to lead in before help arrives.
Is the only hope of crossing this bridge rain?
I really think to a great extent is really rain. That's the first step. If because of where these fires are, I mean, unless we are able to get some sort of air support, which is very expensive. I have to say that. And also, because of the areas where they are, where the fires are currently at, if we do get rain, that would be the first hope to be able to get those fires out. Otherwise, it will have to continue to be, just fighting them, boots on the ground, going in and, trying as much as possible to suppress those fires.
Coming up, Oscar Salgado's attorney questions the fitness of the Belize Central Prison for diabetic inmates.
Over the past 2 years, we have witnessed a vast transformation along 125 kilometers of this vital route that connects Belize City to the northern districts and the Mexican border. The government of Belize, through the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing, is proud to present the newly upgraded portion of the Philip Golson Highway from mile 24.5 in Biscayne Village to the northern border and the full rehabilitation of the Remate Bypass Road.
The road is climate resilient. The road has been lifted so that it's passable. And then areas after, for example, Hurricane Lisa, where we did see flood events, those areas outside of Carmelita Village has been raised.
Previously, before the upgrade, we could see that there was less signs on the roadsides. We were lacking pedestrian ramps, especially by the schools and by the clinic, where most of the people are crossing across that road to access the clinic or access the schools, especially children.
Walking to and from school, we have the size of the road that we walk on that is paved, and so we don't have to be in the mud or in the grass or even in the dust.
Originally yo soy de Santa Clara y para ir a Santa Clara el camino estaba feo. Ahora de aquí de Chanchen a Santa Clara yo solo en vehículo 10 minutos. Y hay bastantes personas que conozco de Orange Walk que siempre dicen, ahora ya no cruzamos por Corozal, del crucero de San Pedro a Border 15 minutos.
I enjoy seeing that when I'm outside observing students leaving or teachers leaving, that they have a little area or space whereby they can sit and wait. In the past, we would have students just waiting by the highway, which can be a danger as well for them. So now we have that little bus area that students are safe while waiting for a bus.
Specific road safety features included the line marking, the installation of road studs, guardrails and end terminals, traffic signs, bus laybys, rumble strips and pedestrian crossings, but more notable is the addition of a paved combined pedestrian and cycle path just outside of the road shoulders throughout all village locations. We are thankful to the government of the United Kingdom, the Caribbean Development Bank, and the government of Belize for their support and commitment in the development of Belize. We would also like to thank our supervision consultant and their team of experts, our 2 reputable contractors, and everyone on our project management team for their hard work and commitment in making this project a success.
En un mundo impulsado por la tecnología, el programa de becas de DIGI abre puertas a infinitas posibilidades. Únase hoy al programa de becas de DIGI, donde los sueños se encuentran con la innovación y el conocimiento se transforma en acción.
Mi nombre es Fabián Solórzano, residente del pueblo de Punta Gorda. Tengo 15 años y estoy asistiendo al Colegio Comunitario de Toledo, en el 3er grado. Estoy muy emocionado por compartir con ustedes, futuros estudiantes que planean aplicar para este programa, cómo me ayudó a mí y a mi familia. Yo tuve el privilegio de ser uno de los afortunados de conseguir la beca. Eso fue de gran ayuda para mí y también para mis padres. Debido a la beca, los gastos de la educación y los gastos del día a día fueron más fáciles de equilibrar. A la vez, esto me permite poder mantenerme más enfocado en mis estudios. DIGI ve un potencial increíble en nosotros y quieren impulsarnos a seguir nuestras metas. Así que yo quiero invitar a todos ustedes que quieran aplicar, que lo hagan, porque ustedes también pueden ser bendecidos con una beca.
Únase al programa de becas de DIGI hoy y embárquese en un viaje de empoderamiento, educación y excelencia. Visite nuestro sitio web para obtener más información sobre cómo puede ser parte de esta oportunidad que cambia vidas. Solicita ahora y libera tu potencial con DIGI. DIGI, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
For a premium lubricant when you're on the go, or a premium brake fluid when you need to stop, choose the brand that's built for champions. Come to Premium Lubricants, distributed by Enrique Martinez and Sons Limited, 2 miles Philip Goldson Highway, Belize City. WhatsApp us at 606-4154.
A police officer from Santa Clara Village, Corozal District, is serving a 2-year sentence at the Belize Central Prison after being found guilty of sexually assaulting a minor. 27-year-old Melvin Canol was convicted and sentenced to jail time this morning when he appeared unrepresented in the Belize City Magistrates Court. The police constable was accused of squeezing the buttocks of a 17-year-old girl back in September of 2023. The incident happened near Lopez Mateo Park in the Kings Park area. In her report, the teenager said that shortly after 4 p.m. on September 12th, she was at a police booth on 17th Street where she was returning a flag she had borrowed from a cadet's instructor. While folding the flag, a Hispanic officer whom she did not know passed by and squeezed her on the left side of her buttocks. When she turned around, she observed that the policeman was standing behind her. Canul was subsequently arraigned and pleaded not guilty to the charge of sexual assault and was offered and met bail in the sum of $3,000. In court today, Chief Magistrate Jayani Wegorapola found Canul guilty of the charge and sentenced him to 2 years in prison. 47-year-old Oscar Mayen Rodas, a Guatemalan truck driver, lost his life in a fatal road traffic accident along the Boom-Hattieville Road 11 months ago during a road traffic accident. A Dodge Dakota driven by a security guard, 26-year-old Marvin Cal, collided into a pickup truck that Rodas was traveling in. The impact caused Rodas to be flung from the pan of the vehicle and onto the road, fatally injuring him. This morning, Cal appeared in the lower courts where he was read 3 traffic and indictable offenses, including manslaughter by negligence, causing death by careless conduct, and drove motor vehicle without due care and attention. No plea was taken from Cal, who was unrepresented, and bail was granted in the sum of $8,000 plus 2 sureties of $4,000 each. Until the matter is disposed of, Cal is to report to the Hattieville Police Station every Tuesday and Friday, beginning May 28th. He returns to court on July 22nd, 2024. Convicted attorney Oscar Salgado was back in court today, where his legal team is challenging the conditions at the Belize Central Prison. Salgado, who is yet to be sentenced after being found guilty of abetment to commit murder, is a diabetic and says that he is having a hard time in jail given his illness. In recent appearances before the High Court, Salgado has complained about the medication being administered to him, as well as the food being fed to him behind prison walls. This afternoon, several prison officials, including Chief Executive Officer Virgilio Murillo and Dr. Javier Novello, were questioned about the existing conditions at the facility. Following today's session, attorney Arthur Saldivar spoke with reporters.
When the doctor tells you he does not get the ability to taste diabetic food himself, and the man responsible for the prison also tells you that he doesn't eat prison food, one cannot be confident in the quality of food, one, that inmates with diabetic condition receive at the prison. And when you get to appreciate that of the total complement of medical staff of 14, there are only 6 civilian staff with no nurses and 8 inmates who are unpaid, with 1 doctor for a population of more than 1,250, a ratio of more than 90 inmates to 1 medical personnel, so-called, with limited training, most of them. No, man, it's a travesty. It's a travesty.
You raised the cases of, I believe, 2 prisoners in particular, Mr. Abade. There may have been 3 that you mentioned, but then the prison official, the CEO, countered, and the doctor as well, that he died because he stopped eating and was suffering from depression.
Well, if the quality of food is so poor that it can barely be stomached, I don't believe anyone would be capable of eating it. It's really remarkable that the prison official brought a list of 12 persons who are the persons afflicted with diabetes. But we know of 2 persons that have died who have also suffered diabetes. That is a high percentage in terms of death rate of persons with diabetes.
According to attorney Saldivar, 2 past inmates have succumbed to diabetes-related complications within a year of being incarcerated at the Belize Central Prison. He says that too little blood sugar has become a crisis at the prison.
One cannot be confident that a person in Mr. Salgado's condition could really survive. Both Abadi and Kowe died within a year. And when it's been admitted that there's only one doctor and that doctor is not there all the time, it really gives pause to any right-thinking person. Better must be done. This is a privately managed facility, and I don't appreciate them saying it's a non-profit because they get paid.
Yes. The CEO says an ambulance is on standby, and they've also said they have a WhatsApp group. If the doctor assigned to the prison does not respond immediately when there's an emergency with a patient, then they take the patient by ambulance to a hospital in Belize City.
But the doctor also tells you if there's a hypoglycemic crisis within 30 minutes, in the worst scenario, that person may be dead.
Yes, but they're saying that they can manage the patients. They do have the ability to check their glucose level, their blood levels, and so you shouldn't have a patient who would reach that stage. And also, they say family for the inmates can take food for them.
All that sounds well and good when they're saying it here. But we know that what is said and what is practiced are many times wide apart in terms of the reality of the situation.
After the break, how is Belize's healthcare system battling the brain drain epidemic? But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Management, in partnership with the National Adaptation Plan Global Network Secretariat, will be hosting the second Blue Economy Climate Resilience Forum and Fair on June 6th and 7th. This year's theme is linking science and livelihoods towards climate resilience for the coastal zone and fisheries sector of Belize. Come and take part in presentations relating to climate change and national adaptation and mitigation initiatives, the use of scientific knowledge to enhance resilience, and how men and women in our community can positively impact our coastal zone and fisheries sector. On day 1, June 6th, the Blue Economy Forum will provide a platform for NGOs, academia, and private citizens to present their plans, projects, and national initiatives at the Belize Biltmore Plaza from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. On day 2, June 7th, the Blue Economy Fair takes place at the Fisheries Compound on Princess Margaret Drive, where stakeholders such as NGOs, fisherfolk organizations, and MSMEs will showcase their booths. There will also be lots of raffle giveaways. Everyone is invited to the second Blue Economy Climate Resilience Forum and Fair on June 6th and 7th.
this plan. I can't left this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
No, I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
What if I told you that your singing talent can earn you $10,000? And what if I told you that you can stop singing in the shower and sing live on one of the biggest stages in Belize?
Let's go! I'm gonna love you forever.
Still not sold? Well, what if I told you with all that's offered, you can attract fans and supporters from all over the country? So, are you ready to be part of the most exciting singing competition in Belize? It's time for KTV The Remix, Season 6. Auditions will take place on Saturday, June 1st and Sunday, June 2nd. So mark your calendars and come show us how good you are. This is your chance to make it big and win big. KTV The Remix, Season 6. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Brain drain is when a significant number of persons leave an industry in search of better opportunities or working conditions. Over the past 2 years, the KHMH has lost around 50 nurses and doctors, and during COVID, 25 staff members stepped away, placing a heavy burden on those who were left behind to cope with a growing number of patients. Brain drain is the focus of our story for our Belize on Real segment this week, and we'll use the nursing profession as one example of how brain drain can affect a system of work. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
Developing countries like Belize face fierce competition in meeting the pay scale and benefit standards that exist among employees in specialized fields of work in developed countries. The nursing profession is one area that has lost a lot of workers over the last 3 years. Andrew Baird is a practical nurse at the Carl Hirschner Memorial Hospital and sits on the board of directors as president of the KHMH Workers Union. He says the benefits in developed countries are far greater.
In Belize, nurses does not have as much benefits as one would think. Out in the U.S. and other part of the world, prior to leaving Belize, these nurses are offered sign bonuses, and sign bonuses are around 3,000 to 5,000 US per nurse, and also per month. And these nurses are also being offered homes, place to stay.
All right. So
And
the benefits.
yeah, the benefits and the conditions are even much more. And to least to say, the pay, the salary that is being given to the various nurses outer world.
Renita Pop is the president of the Nurses Association of Belize. She shared statistics with us indicating that nurses who study in Belize are still leaving the field. She compares the migration of nurses from 2021 to 2024.
It has been noted that more nurses are requesting license verification,
And most of the times when our nurses do these, it's because they're preparing to leave, no? Not necessarily leaving the profession, but leaving the country to practice nursing elsewhere. There has been an 11% decline from 2021 to 2024. Practically saying that we've lost over 100 nurses from 2021 to present.
According to POP, registered nurses have recorded the highest number of healthcare professions that have left in search of greener pastures. Nonetheless, there are efforts by the Ministry of Health and Wellness to fill the void.
I know that the Ministry of Health have been trying to come up with ways to get nurses from other countries, like within Central America and even back to the Philippines.
What we have done from the association part is to liaise with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, retention packages to keep our nurses home. And at our last conference, proposed retention package was presented, which we are hoping that becomes fruition, where the chief nurse and the Minister of Health are working hand in hand to present a paper to Cabinet, which will include a variety of incentives for the remaining nurses that are here in Belize. Okay. And of course, the ministry continues to assist by providing scholarships for specialty fields such as midwifery, the operating room nurse, scrub nurse, and public health nursing.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has been offering scholarships to attract nursing students. However, Baird says that even at the end of a 4-year program, there aren't enough nurses in the healthcare sector. At the KHMH, there is still a shortage of about 30 nurses in various areas. What it does, according to Baird, is extend their shifts. He looks to the ministry to find quick, workable solutions.
In reference to scholarship, you're looking at 4 years from now. I'm saying the ministry, along with all the stakeholders, must prepare a long-term and a short-term plan to fix the issue of nurse shortage.
What would be your suggestion for a short-term solution?
Maybe we should dig back into some of the retirees.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
When we return, the BMDC and the Ministry of Agriculture talk carrots and importation.
Save. The Credit Union way.
The Holy Redeemer Credit Union Limited is celebrating its 80th annual general meeting, and all member owners are invited to attend this milestone on Saturday, May 25th at 2 p.m. sharp at the Belize Civic Center. Come listen to important reports and information about your credit union and get the opportunity to ask questions and elect your officers. Participate to win thousands of dollars in cash prizes. HRCU boasts over 64,000 member owners, $773.8 million in assets, $644.8 million in total savings, $129 million in total equity, and $21.8 million in dividends and rebates being returned to member owners. Please be on time for your 80th AGM on Saturday, May 25th at 2 p.m. And don't forget to bring along your HRCU passbook and valid photo ID in order to enter the Civic Center. HRCU, making a difference in people's lives.
In May, make Benny's your one-stop shop for appliances. We have Sankey refrigerators, stoves, microwaves, washers and dryers, freezers, smart TVs, and so much more for up to 19% off. Get amazing deals for mom and appliances all May long, and don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase to be a part of our Homecation raffle to win $10,000 in December. Benny's, quality and savings.
Sold to foreigners by the PUP and renationalized by the UDP, BTL was one of Belize's most profitable companies. Now this PUP Briceño administration is determined to kill the people's company to enrich the Briceños company, as government ministries and departments have been systematically switching from BTL to SMART, the latest to do so being the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness
Belize has switched telephone providers, going from a national company to a privately owned entity.
As of May 1st, the Ministry of Health and Wellness officially made the switch from Belize Telemedia Limited to Smart.
While Smart rakes in millions upon millions more, BTL is on the verge of collapse. The national budget shows government's revenues from BTL dividends, which stood at 30 million, have now shrunk to a measly 1 million. Just as former PM Barrow predicted would happen if Briceño became Prime Minister.
What is he going to do if he ever gets into power? He's going to try and hobble BTL. It'll be a sellout all over again. I can bet they would absolutely undercut BTL for Smart.
My name is Leomar Langzert and I'm a teacher and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offered, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
Earlier this week, the United Democratic Party raised an issue about carrots purportedly wasting away on farms in San Carlos Village. The Ministry of Agriculture was quick to refute those claims made by opposition leader Shine Barrow and pointed out that no importation permits have been issued for carrots to be brought into the country since November of 2023. This morning, representatives from the Belize Marketing and Distribution Corporation, BMDC, also weighed in on the issue, reiterating government's position.
The BMDC, as one of the main arms when it comes to the distribution and marketing of produce, does its best to ensure that our farmers do have the market whenever they have local production. And as such, our administrator, Mr. Carrillo, has done quite a job to ensure that we do site inspections, we do field visits to ensure that when they have enough production, we don't apply for any permit. And even if we did, the ministry monitors that and they will never give us either because they have their extension services that monitor the amount of production in the country. And we have figures as to what is the weekly consumption of every vegetable. So once we notice there's enough in the field, there's no import permit. And that's how we control what is there. So one of the concerns that we have is that lots of the times whenever there's local production, the prices tend to be high. And carrots is not really a necessity.
Also speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture was Lennox Nicholson, Controller of Supplies. According to Nicholson, the import quantities requested by BMDC are often reduced and in some cases not approved as a means of regulating the importation of vegetables into the country.
The licensing regime provides space to local producers, a buffer between them and imports, in that when local production is there, we don't allow the import. But we're not there to pick winners and losers between San Carlos in Orange Walk and maybe a producer in Stan Creek. They're both Belizeans, both setup producers are Belizeans. So they have to compete among themselves, and that's one of the things that he mentioned. And this idea, the licensing for these products also come out of my office, and I can tell you once local production is in, none is issued. And there's a process, oftentimes licenses that are applied for by BMDC, the quantities are cut, and in some instances they're not approved outright. So like I mentioned, I indicated earlier, I actually act as a regulator for them as well. And oftentimes when people suggest that licenses have been issued and you ask, can I see a copy of it? And there is none.
Cartel-related violence in southern Mexico has abated considerably, according to Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. In allaying the fears of Belizean travelers who are concerned about crossing the northern border into Chetumal, Corporal Williams told reporters that there is still a strong law enforcement presence along regular and irregular crossing points in Corozal and Orange Walk districts.
The situation in Chetumal certainly has decreased tremendously. We're not hearing much about the activities of the cartels in that city, and so that is something good for us. Notwithstanding that, though, we still maintain our strong presence along our borders, both irregular and regular crossing areas. Again, maintaining the integrity of our country is important to us. And so our actions not going to be dictated by what happens in Chetumal, but basically what we believe is in the best interest of our people. And so we remain in place. We continue to do our operations daily, going after persons who we believe are involved in whatever way with the cartels over in Mexico side to make sure that we minimize the activities in our country.
There is no political future in sight for Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. That's what he told reporters on Wednesday. According to the top cop, who has locked horns with opposition leader Shine Barrow recently, he is focusing on reducing crime in the country.
I have never once said that I am running for politics. I have only said that I was contemplating, and to think of something is not wrong, contrary to what my good friend Mr. Mosehide had said, that once I start to think I must resign. If that be the case, then I don't think some of you will be here, because I'm sure you're thinking about not being here, right? We have to think. We are creatures of thinking. And so, yes, to think of my future in terms of what I believe is best for me and my country, I don't think it's wrong to do that. And if I believe that I can better serve this country in a political manner, then I will do that. But at this time, I am focused on my duties as a police officer and as a commissioner of police to see what I can do along with my officers to continue to decrease crime in this country, to make our country as safe as we can. But if the gentleman from Mess Up continue to poke the bear, then the bear might just likely give him what he wants.
Up next, the Belize Peace Movement writes to the GG.
Every day, we access energy for cooling, lighting, and powering our electrical appliances and devices at work and at home. During cooler months, we rely less on cooling appliances such as fans and air conditioners. However, during warmer months, as the temperature and humidity rises, we use more energy to cool our spaces, and our appliances and electrical devices work harder than they do during the rest of the year. When the months become hotter, let's all practice energy conservation. Here are a few changes that you can make to manage your energy use. Check that all appliances and electrical devices are working efficiently. Turn lights off when not in the room. Unplug chargers, appliances when not in use. Turn off fans and TVs. Use energy-saving light bulbs such as LEDs. And look for the Energy Star products when purchasing appliances and electrical devices. These easy changes can reduce energy use and costs. You can also monitor your energy use during the month by reading your meter and calculating the reading using BEL's bill calculator on our mobile app or by visiting our website. Let's all save energy.
Hi, my name is Leah Mangar, and I am currently the Administrative Assistant at Yasche Conservation Trust here in beautiful Punta Gorda. I received the Social Security Board Scholarship in the year of 2021. After I was told that I was a successful recipient of this scholarship, I was very grateful. This scholarship has assisted me in various ways. Firstly, it relieved me of financial constraints. So that was the main obstacle that was keeping me back. But receiving this scholarship allowed me to gain the skills and the knowledge that I needed to attain the job that I currently have. I would just encourage you all to apply to the scholarship. And the process is very, very easy. You will find a link and it will direct you to everything that you need in order to submit your application. And once you submit it, pray and just hope for the best, because you just will never know if you can get it.
What if I told you that your singing talent can earn you $10,000? And what if I told you that you can stop singing in the shower and sing live on one of the biggest stages in Belize?
Let's go! I'm gonna love you forever.
Still not sold? Well, what if I told you with all that's offered, you can attract fans and supporters from all over the country? So, are you ready to be part of the most exciting singing competition in Belize? It's time for KTV The Remix, Season 6. Auditions will take place on Saturday, June 1st and Sunday, June 2nd. So mark your calendars and come show us how good you are. This is your chance to make it big and win big. KTV The Remix, Season 6. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
The Belize Peace Movement has written to the Governor General asking her intervention should the Prime Minister decide to call elections before the High Court rules on a matter that is before it. On Wednesday, the BPM, through its attorney Arthur Saldivar, concluded its arguments before Justice Nadine Nabi, in which it asked the court to order the Elections and Boundaries Commission to expedite the redistricting exercise. And today, the movement wrote to Governor General Dame Forla Salam, asking her to use her powers afforded under the Constitution. The BPM pointed to the previous government's decision to hold elections without a redistricting exercise, and in anticipation of a possible repeat of that scenario, sought the GG's intervention. The letter states in part, quote, "We respectfully urge that should the Prime Minister advise your office to dissolve the National Assembly prior to the conclusion of the said litigation in the High Court, that you invoke your power under the Belize Constitution, Section 84(4)(a), unquote." That section of the Constitution reads, quote, "If the Prime Minister advises a dissolution and the Governor General, acting in his own deliberate judgment, considers that the government of Belize can be carried on without a dissolution and that a dissolution would not be in the interests of deliberate judgment, refuse to dissolve the National Assembly," unquote. Today, leader of the Belize Peace Movement, Bobby Lopez, explained to News 5 that they are contemplating all the avenues that the Constitution provides to get the redistricting to occur before the next general elections, and the Governor General was one way.
We have also been considering what other safeguards we can have in place, and one that we have been looking at for some time is the office of the Governor General. You know that constitutionally she does have certain powers, certain responsibilities with regards to safeguarding our democracy and how we are governed. And so we decided to also send her a letter and apprise her of what is happening currently with the case of redivisioning in the court, and also just requesting that should the Prime Minister decide to call early elections and redistricting has not been done to the satisfaction of our Constitution, she has the power to say, not quite yet, Mr. Prime Minister, this needs to be taken care of first so that it ensures that we have free and fair elections. So that's a constitutional responsibility that the Governor General holds, and that's why we quoted it in the letter to her.
The House of Representatives is scheduled to meet in special sitting on May 30th. High on the agenda is the introduction of a redistricting proposal bill. As we reported earlier this week, the Belize Peace Movement was before the High Court in a matter that involves a consent order to be carried out by the Elections and Boundaries. When we caught up with him this afternoon, attorney Arthur Saldivar spoke about the latest developments in Parliament in light of the ongoing legal matter.
I am thankful that the parliamentarians, this sitting administration, has seen fit to move this along. It is an important step, and we look forward to hearing the results of the debate. We want to have free and fair elections in Belize, and it gives me hope to be able to appreciate that the Parliament is now taking on the mantle and advancing this. There is hope for Belize.
How do you look at that? Once it goes through Parliament, it's been shut down, it has to be done over?
Yes, it has to be done over. Because again, what was being proposed prior to the tabling was for Election and Boundaries to withdraw that proposal and redo it. But suffice it to say now, Parliament has elected to proceed with it through to a debate, and we will see how that washes out. I'm not privy to the inner sanctums of the decision making of Parliament, like yourself, Marisol. I've lost my wings. So I don't know beforehand how this debate will turn out, but I do expect, given what I've read, and that it doesn't pass muster.
Belize has called on the U.S. government to remove Cuba from its Department of State's website as a state sponsor of terrorism. In a press release issued today, the government expresses deep concern, referring to the U.S. government's arbitrary decision to continue to list Cuba as such. The release states in part, quote, "The government of Belize denounces these baseless accusations as there is no evidence that the government of the Republic of Cuba is involved in any such activities," end quote. In asking the U.S. government to remove Cuba from the list, Belize urged the U.S. to continue the process to normalize bilateral relations with Cuba. Belize says it will continue along with the member states of CARICOM to call for lifting the economic, commercial, and financial blockade imposed by the U.S. government on Cuba as well. 8 women who participated in the seaweed mariculture sector graduated from a boat captain training program today. The training was provided by the Belize Women's Seaweed Farmers Association. The initiative was a collaboration involving the Belize Coast Guard, the Belize Defense Force, the Belize Port Authority, and Women in Maritime Association Caribbean, with funding by the Blue Social Challenge Fund and the British High Commission. The training equipped the captains with essential skills in farming seaweed 20 miles off the coast of Placencia. British High Commissioner Nicole Davidson, along with Akeem Tahada, the boat captain instructor, and Jalima Gold, president of the Belize Women's Seaweed Farmers Association, shared their perspectives on the program.
It's a very special program for us because it really speaks to engagement in the community, work in the blue economy, and working with communities who are engaged in the blue economy. This has been funded under the United Kingdom Social Challenge Fund, which is a fund specifically aimed at communities and people working in the community space, and particularly communities that don't normally have access to funding.
We went over some basic boat training, which is the seaman terminology, docking and slipping, also maneuvering the boat in open water as well. I'd say 90% of all the women that participated, they have done well. They have made me proud, and I hope they can make themselves proud.
We had 11 participants from all around mostly the southern part of the country. This is a very significant and important training for us. It is the first of its kind done in the country. We are working with the Belize Coast Guard, Belize Defense Force, Port Authority, and local captains to put together a training that really encourages and empowers women specifically and some youth to become boat captain trainings. In the past, it has always been a little bit hard for women to get into this field and kind of push boundaries and barriers when it comes to anything in maritime. And so this is something that's very important to us as an association, and we are very proud of what we've accomplished here today.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.